Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of the Local Marketing Beat, brought to you by Uberall. My name is Christian Arriola and I will be your host today. The Local Marketing Beat is all about helping location marketers stay in the know on the hottest digital topics. We'll surface need-to-know updates related to local digital marketing and ask the experts what they know, why it matters, and what it means for location marketers. A couple of housekeeping things or updates for you. We're now on Spotify, so feel free to tune in if you are on the go and you just want to be, catching up on every episode. And also, if you are watching this on YouTube, which hopefully you're enjoying or the view, but if you're interested in listening in another language, try turning on closed captioning and then select the auto-generated subtitle in your preferred language. So it's excited because I know that we have people from all over the globe, so now we're be able to have multiple language as well. So with that, what's the beat on Local Marketing Street this month? We're talking about review management, starting with what impacts reviews have on rankings. How is that performing nowadays? Why should review management be part of a wider local strategy? So really, why even care, right? As a business, as a brand, and really cover more about automation, which is pretty exciting. There's a lot of AI tools out there, a lot of AI happening in the industry. So how is that affecting reputation as a whole, reputation management? So for that, we have a couple of guests and pretty excited. We have Cris, our global head of product marketing. Hey, welcome, Cris.
Thanks, Christian. Super excited to be here.
Yeah, no, we're excited to have you. And if you can tell us a little bit about yourself and your role here for everybody to get familiar with you.
Absolutely. So my name is Cris Thome. I'm the global head of product marketing here at Uberall. Basically, my role is to take all the great, amazing features that our product managers build and take to market and help to add value, help to create a message that our customers understand the value of these features, and they can use and take the best of our product. That's mainly my role.
Great. And we also have Amanda with us, who heads up operations at Virtual Vision Computing. Welcome to the show, Amanda.
Thanks. I'm so excited to be here. We absolutely love partnering with Uberall, so it's truly an honor to be able to join you guys today.
Yeah, and we were just talking about this, but Amanda is probably one of our first guests to show up with an actual podcast microphone. So really appreciate you that. So Amanda, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, your role at Virtual Vision?
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Amanda. I am the Chief of Operations here at Virtual Vision. At Virtual Vision, we are a digital marketing partner. We primarily partner with the service-based industry, so restoration, roofers, HVAC. And our goal is to provide end-to-end solutions for our customers that start with really like story-guided performance reporting, lead generation, and optimization that go through, to full converting websites and strategies. So my job here at our team is really kind of to be the person that comes alongside and works to on our go-to-market strategies, support our team, helping manage products and projects as we work with our customers, and then collaborating with our clients and vendors, just like Uberall, to truly be able to make sure that we are providing a foundational digital presence for our customers through the use of a variety of different tools.
Great. No, that's awesome. Hopefully that gives us a very good perspective for what you're looking out for as we go through some of the questions I want to ask you and really pick your brain a little bit. But before we jump into that, I have an icebreaker question for you guys. So we can start with you, Amanda. Can you recall a personal experience where an online review heavily influenced your decision, whether it was a product or a service?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so the first thing that always comes to mind, because this is probably where I am the most meticulous about looking at reviews, whenever I travel, I'm kind of a picky person about the hotels that I stay at. And I'm sure you guys have had the experience where if you're looking at a hotel, any management photos are going to be beautiful. Like they have a photographer come in, they're literally made to look the best they can so that you'll book the service. I skip over those every single time and go straight to the actual visitor reviews and photos, because I want to know, okay, beyond those management pieces, what are the actual guests saying about the hotel? And there have been times where I'm like, yep, I don't need to read more than this one review with this one picture to know that that is not a place that I am going to stay. Or, to be able to read multiple 5-star reviews of just like, even if there were issues, how they were handled and taken care of. So hotels specifically, like, the reviews make or break my decision on where I'm going to stay when I'm traveling.
That's great. I should have followed that advice recently. I'll tell you that story later, but
Oh dear.
yeah, it was terrible. What about you, Cris?
I just want to say before jumping to me that I love Amanda's example. She actually stole one of my ideas. I want to mention hotels as well. I think that hotels is so, like, nowadays, it's so difficult to see someone who would book a hotel without looking at reviews. So Amanda, I'm fully with you. All the pictures and everything is amazing on their website, but I actually make the decisions looking by the reviews. But there is another industry that I also look carefully before booking or making a reservation it's restaurants. Same thing. Some restaurants, they have amazing websites. They show like how amazing the food is. But if you're trying to celebrate, especially having a special moment, inviting guests, I want to know how noisy it is. I want to know truly the food experience, how it is. I want to know if it's a fair price and how people feel about that. I want to know about the service. I want to know what type of wine they have. So I almost bypass the website now and I go deeply into the reviews. So that's my take, like hotels and restaurants, absolutely. But I go all the way into like pet grooming service, tire swap for the winter, everything I use reviews.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's a great point, and I think it's a good segue to really dig deeper into the impact of review management, because we're at that point where like I think we're all smart consumers, and we're talking about consumers here from the consumer perspective, where we just don't believe that, and especially the three of us being in marketing, like we know we can make things look prettier.
Yeah.
So as a consumer, is like you're double picky, right? So you're definitely looking into like what are they trying to hide? That's what I want to see. So Cris, on your perspective, what's that correlation between online reviews, local search rankings, and for example, how does Google perceiving this or processing these type of reviews?
Yeah, it's a great question because Google algorithm does take into consideration a lot of factors in regards to review management. So it takes into consideration the customer rating, so the stars. It takes into consideration the volume of the reviews, but also how often you get reviews, if the reviews is text only, if it has images. And it does take into consideration if the business owner is answering reviews. Right? Like how frequent are you responding to reviews? How authentic is your response? So review management, reputation management, it became a critical piece in location marketing, not just the listings and make sure your location data is accurate, but the reviews became a critical important piece, not only for the Google algorithm, for people business to get found and be chosen, but also for a customer experience in general. Like you gotta be on top of your reviews.
That's a great point, because as I was saying that I try to go towards the things that want to be hidden. Nowadays, I actually only read to 1-stars first. Like I want to see what people are saying. And I've found even in my subconscious is like when there's an answer or like a behind of like where did that 1-star came from, the business owner replied or the manager replied, it really helps, right? Because I can see that, oh, it's a fake review, or oh, this I mean, there's no sense, right? Like I went for tire swap and they were trying to sell me on something else. It's like, yeah, well, I mean, it doesn't affect my decision, right? So Amanda, I know you're in you helping a lot of service providers, so maybe not hotel, restaurants. How do you see this happening for home services, and which I had a lot of experience doing SEO for home services, so I'm very familiar with it. But I want to hear your perspective. What's happening out there now with reviews?
You know, I think there's always been a really big push of importance to reviews, but I think that really that's like grown so much more over time, much like even Cris talked about. That's really the first place that people are going to. And especially, you know, obviously Google has such a mass share on the search market. But they put such a heavy piece, as Cris said, on their algorithm related to how your reviews are performing. How often are you responding? What do your reviews look like? Some of the conversations that we have on a very regular basis with our clients, everyone wants to be number one on the search results on Google. I mean, why wouldn't you? But when a customer comes to us, especially starting a new business, the first thing that we tell them, you know, obviously we want to build a foundation in various other like digital marketing tactics, but the number one thing we say first is, do you have people who can speak to your experience in gathering initial reviews? Because even so, you know, you look at, it might have been a year ago now even, that Google rolled out for some categories of search specifically, they won't even display your business profile anymore unless you have a minimum of 5 reviews. And that's huge. So you really, like, it has to be the foundational piece that you start on, and that's what people are going to look at and go to first. Even as important as it is to be verified on Google, more than I want to see a business show up with a verified Google business profile, I want to see them show up with a verified profile and a list of 5-star reviews to back that up. Oh,
yeah, absolutely. Oh, there you go.
I'm not sure why I just got a bunch of balloons, but
Making sense what you're saying. Balloons.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
Now, that's a great point though, because we're talking the whole idea of you do your best to make it pretty, but the customer needs to see the real side as well. Now, the other thing that, as we were talking about, it's funny because as consumers, you wait. I mean, it's easier for you to go online and leave a 1-star than it is to go in and talk about a 5-star review, right?
Absolutely.
It's just I guess it's just the industry, and that's how things work. But being that, you know, it's probably 5 times more likely to get 1-star reviews, how important do you think it's review management, Cris? Like responding and more as a general, you know, thinking about maybe multi-location brands, franchises, how important should this be prioritized?
Yeah, so very important to be prioritized, as I touched before, that first of all, for the algorithm, Google does value and appreciate and ranks higher if you're responding to reviews consistently, authentically, right? So you don't just want some business respond to review occasionally. So I don't know, once a month you go there, you respond a couple of them, and then you don't do for another month. That doesn't help your search visibility at all. So you gotta be consistent. You gotta be authentic. And for business who have multi-locations, it is also about the tone of voice, the brand, how you keep it consistent when you have multi-locations. If you are a smaller business with 1 or 2 locations, it's easier. But as it goes to multi-locations, consistent is harder. There is also an element of some business having people reviewing in other languages. So multilingual support is also critical for hotels, for restaurants, anything related to tourism in general. So the management of it can become quite complex, can become actually quite of an effort for a marketing team. And that's where tools and using technology becomes easier to really help managing all of that.
Yeah, I think you hit it in the spot, right? We're talking about, it can be tedious. I mean, I've heard restaurants, single locations that can get 2,000 to 5,000 reviews a month. Like how can a person keep up with that, right? So I think this is a good point that how do you see automation and really software and tools impact on this side of things, Cris?
Yeah, exactly. So we see a lot of business just answering, thank you for your review, or I'm happy you like the experience, right? Or I'm sorry you didn't have a good experience. That's it. Customers who are trying to find your business and choose your business, they're going to go for the reviews. how can they learn something about your business when they are reading your answer as a business? So how can you use this opportunity of either positive or negative reviews to show that you are authentic, that you're actually reading the reviews, that you're actually providing original messages with a great tone of voice, being empathic to the situation, so showing empathy to the experience, also very important. And it's so hard to do that with multi-locations, right? So that's where, again, technology comes to place to help streamline all of this.
Yeah, absolutely. Amanda, on your side, are you guys, is your team responding to reviews for clients, or are clients doing that on their own?
You know, really, we kind of do a mix of both. Obviously, with the help of Uberall, we've been able to push that process into, you know, some automation with a real factor involved for our customers. But there, you know, I can't lie and tell you that there are some customers who say, no, I really don't want that automation piece. So we really start by building that trust in assisting them in the response to the reviews. That being said, you know, I can speak to our customers' brand only so much. So we do really encourage them, if you're not looking at an automation and that's really not something that you want to go towards, you're going to be able to do that best in-house. We can help. We can absolutely help. In fact, most of our customers respond to those positive reviews themselves. When they have a spam review or a tricky negative review that comes through, that's usually when they come to us and say, okay, let's talk through some best practices. How can you help us in this regard?
Yeah, that's a great point. I think this is going to be a shameless plug here, but this is where the new Uberall's review assistant comes in with the automation and trying to help you, because as you get star ratings with no text, or you get, you know, very generic, like, you know, thank you for great service, very basic reviews that why would your team members, whether you as an agency or the business owner or the brand manager, why would they spend so much time responding to that, right? So those are, to me, this is my personal opinion, I feel like that's where the opportunity of automation comes in, where generic review, generic answer is okay. Maybe AI is going to personalize it a little bit. We don't want every response to be the same.
Right.
But then that allows your team, right, to really focus on those testimonial reviews that sometimes can be like letters.
Yeah.
It's so funny because I've seen a few of those that they just go on and on with the whole experience, and then by the middle part of it is like, is this real? Like, how do I know this is real? Like, is it fake? Like, you're just trying to fake this experience. So it could go either way. But Cris, can you tell us a little bit more about this review assistant that I was mentioning? Because I know you've been working on this.
Yes, I've been working on this quite hard, and we launched this fall. Before I talk about the new feature, the review assistant, I just want to mention we still see some customers managing reviews natively. So going on each platform, going into Google, going to Yelps, going into TripAdvisor, going to social, and it's like a lot of work. So first of all, Uberall has review management for quite a while, and we have been helping customers in general to manage these reviews from multiple directories into one place. What we just launched right now this fall, which is really exciting, is taking advantage of AI and ChatGPT. So our solution integrates with ChatGPT, and it's really about helping our business owners, after done tons of research and understanding that there is a creative fatigue, as we mentioned. Like, for business owners, they have to manage many things, right? If you think about a restaurant, you need to make sure that the food is good, you're serving your customers, you're paying your bills, and also you have to worry about customers finding online, having your Google business profile, managing reviews. It is a lot for business owners. So what the review AI assistant does is help exactly with this. Customers told us, we don't know what to answer on the reviews. We don't have the time to be creative. We would love to have a draft for us. We would love to have some help. So the ChatGPT is integrated with Uberall platform. With a click of a button, the integration reads the review, understands the sentiment of the review, the rating of the review, and suggests a reply. So it's not fully automated. You need to read the suggestion. You can make changes to this suggestion. You can reject the suggestion, but it's a starting point. And we had many customers on beta before we launched, and the feedback has been amazing. Like, we're really using, again, technology, evolving this product, leveraging AI to help fatigue, help the customers to respond all the reviews, not leave a review unanswered, respond consistently, respond fast, and align the tone of voice, again, the sentiment of the review. So I'm super excited. It's been truly a great product to launch.
Yeah, and I knew you would hit all the features and all the things that I like about the product. So you did a great job there, because I really like the whole idea of, like, I mean, let's be honest, there's just so many ways to say, thank you for coming, right? Like, I mean, you run out of words. So
Yeah.
I think this is where AI can help you really make sure that they're all different, but at the same time, you don't run out of words. So how do you see this kind of technology tools for review management help the vertical that you guys serve, Amanda?
Yeah, it's interesting, Cris, that you mentioned this idea of creative fatigue. I actually was just having a conversation yesterday because a pretty hefty report is released in our industry every year. It's called the State of the Industry Report. And one of the big findings that came out of it was this idea of, creative and technology fatigue, right? Like, technology is beautiful, but at some point it does become kind of overwhelming. It's always changing. And even as marketers, I think we all can understand, as beautiful as the changes and the things that happen in technology are, it's also like, oh, could I just grasp one concept before we move on to the next? And so I think when you talk about partnering with a review platform like Uberall that has these tools that are coming out, it really allows the user not only to have still some hands-on aspects, so we're still getting that personalized level of service that we're able to look at through, especially through those review responses with the reviewer assistant, and saying, yeah, I approve that, I need to change this, or, this isn't just really my tone. It's kind of providing like a stepping stone, right? So I don't have to embrace it fully if I do have that creative or technology fatigue, but I could fully embrace that as well. And so we see that just being a really big thing in our industry, because if I had to go to a client and say, we have a tool that we're using, we're partnering with Uberall, it'll do it all for you, and they're already in the tech fatigue space, they might say no simply because they cannot process adding another piece into that. Even though, will it make their life easier? Absolutely, yes. But sometimes even the concept of implementing something to make your life easier feels hard when you're technology overwhelmed. And so having like kind of those stepping tools or stepping stones that Uberall provides with review management in their platform has really been crucial for us to be able to meet a client where it's at and then grow them at the speed and level in which they're able to process that and do it well.
Yeah, hit it on the spot. Is there any success story, Amanda, that you could share with us? I would be very curious to hear, from the review assistant, review management, or any side of there that you saw made a significant impact on a client.
It's hard because we do this like day in and day out, right? So it's hard to narrow it down to one thing, but I will say this. We have used like quite a few different review management tools over the years. We have been in business since 1997. And over the past 5 years, I think Uberall might be the 5th review management platform that we have tried to partner with. And I will say, what has stood out to me more than anything else is your level of service in meeting my team where we are at so that we can meet our clients where they are at. the two gentlemen that myself and another team member get to work with, we meet with them weekly to say, hey, what are the things that we could be utilizing better for our customers to help them in their review management experience? So they're helping us help our customers more. And that has been transformative, because it's easy to get stuck in the rut of, okay, well, we know how to manage reviews, we know how to help you roll this out, we know how to ask for it. But when you have a partner that doesn't just provide the tool to do that, but also provides the partnership to continue to grow in that offering, that has been transformative. So it's not a specific example necessarily, but really just like the overarching partnership that Virtual Vision has been able to have with Uberall to roll out successful review management to our customers, that has been amazing.
That's fantastic.
That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's great to hear. I think it's something where there's a thin line of review management or reputation management where, like, yes, I know how to respond to a review, right? Like, that's easy,
right?
But like, it's how do you do it 5,000 times a month, right? Like, and not get exhausted because you have to keep going. So,
right. Well, and I think too, if I could just add to that quick, one of the unique challenges that our industry encounters is a lot of our customers are walking into more emergency type scenarios. So it's not a restaurant or a hotel that they're doing research and planning to go to, right? We work a lot with restoration companies. So their customer has had a house fire, okay? Their life is pretty much in shambles. And now they need to figure out, who am I gonna call? And they don't have time necessarily even to read the reviews, but what they are going to notice is, well, how many reviews do you have and how many of those are 5-star reviews and rated highly? And then our customer is able to step in because of the success of review management and reputation management, because even just that simple, how many of those stars are filled in online, are able to come in and meet that customer in that moment. So there's not a lot of planning that gets to happen, but it's still incredibly important, because even without realizing it, their customer is making a subconscious decision of, I'm going to choose to call you or not, based on what I immediately see on your profile,
That's a great point. I think we talked often about every industry is very different from each other, right? When we're talking about a hotel versus a restaurant versus an emergency, right? Where your life is like upside down and you don't have time to really go read testimonials and what is the experience like, or how many employees, or what's the story of the founder, right? Like, you don't have time for that. So that's a great point.
Right.
Now, it's I'm glad you mentioned, like, this is the trends that we've been seeing. These are the things that have been changing. But as we look forward towards the future of review management, I want to hear a little bit more about you, both of your perspective. Cris, we can start with you, because obviously it keeps changing and is rapidly changing. How do you see the whole reputation management adopting and or really evolving maybe next year, and specifically with Uberall's new products and new things that are coming out, without revealing secrets?
Yeah, for sure. What we are looking next is leveraging the integration with ChatGPT in bulk, right? So we got some feedback that the tool is great. It does help with creative fatigue. It does help with multilingual support, but there is still a manual side of selecting one by one. So how can we go more in bulk? We also have filters. So just show me quickly the 1-star reviews, so my team can quickly action into those. So by ratings, right? Like we have some filters that we can apply. And I see the industry potentially evolving into accepting more automated responses, or even you build a library. Right now you can have a library of up to 20 answers in the library, so it goes automatically through about 20. I do see this being expanded, and at the moment Google does not like the algorithm does not appreciate, does not value completely automated responses at the moment, right? So that is a discussion in the industry. Is Google going to flex these rules and allow customers to fully automate the responses based on some rules? I think there is a balance between being authentic and still do some like automated responses. What are the rules? What are the filters we need in place? How much the technology can evolve for Google to feel comfortable about it? So big debate in 2024 and how Uberall will adapt to make sure that we keep being compliant with Google rules, but also giving automation to clients. So we are watching this space very closely.
Yeah, no, that's great. Amanda, what about you? Now you're out in the field talking to these companies one-on-one daily, helping them. How do you see the future of online reviews evolving? Or are there any specific trends that you're following closely?
You know, Chris really hit it on the head. One of the trends that I'm following very closely is how will Google respond to the automated responses? Because there is absolutely a benefit. But I think we saw that shift really happen when, you know, content really became such a heavy focus of Google with their helpful content updates, you know, starting last year. And initially the response was anything AI, like you're going to get penalized for that. And now that's moved, right? So if it's helpful AI content and it's still providing value to your users, you know, there was a shift in that perspective. And so I guess in my thought or what I would expect is that eventually Google will shift that, because you can't have business owners who are needing to respond to 5,000 reviews while also running a successful business. Those just, you either have to have multiple people or you have to have help. And obviously the way we're moving is towards technology focused assistance, and it should be that way. And I love watching that specifically. So I think that's something that I'm watching very closely. And those are a lot of the questions that the companies that we work with are asking as well. Am I going to be penalized for putting something in place that will help me, but that is automated? You know, we watch this very closely for them and see how that will affect them.
Yeah, it's so funny because you basically kind of stole my thought. I was just thinking about that. It's like, I mean, not even a year ago, like just almost a year ago, when Google was completely against AI content. I tried it before it was a thing. I tried a bunch of tools, wrote a bunch of blogs, and they wouldn't even get indexed. Right. And then ChatGPT came out, and there was like no option, right? Like it has to. Right. And we saw this year, I mean, so many updates, probably. Probably one of the busiest year we've seen Google release core algorithm updates and helpful updates. So, I mean,
I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I have a whole lot of extra gray hairs based on all the updates that happened this year. Yeah. I love Google. Obviously, I wouldn't work in technology if I didn't, but sometimes I'm like, oh my word, can you just like give us a little bit of time to adapt to this one before the next one comes out?
I mean, it really is more of like, hey, can you give me a little bit of time just to finish reading the last update? Because like the new one's already here.
Yeah, it's true.
So, Chris, any gold nuggets, any parting words that you can share with our audience on your take in maximizing their online presence using reviews and reputation management?
More and more we see business understanding the importance of having reviews, understanding, okay, I need to manage reputation, but how can I get my customers to provide some authentic reviews? So it's also a controversial topic. Some people are very much against. Some people are like, some business even think about paying for this. Our recommendation is absolutely do not pay any customers or reward them, but it's completely fine, and you should kindly solicit reviews. And you should also give some specific questions, intentional questions for your customers, so that when they respond to the review, they have your question in mind, right? So how was the food today? How was the meal? How satisfied you were with the experience today, right? So ask specific questions, or if it's pet grooming service, So you specifically mention that on your question, and then the review will mention those things. It's important to say that Google does take into consideration the words that customers mention on reviews, but it does not take into consideration the words that the business respond. So it's not a good practice to be using keywords on your response. Be authentic, be original, but you should definitely leverage soliciting reviews in a respectful way. It's normal. It's a great marketing practice. I want to leave our customers with that. And the more reviews you're going to get, as you are encouraging, the more you will need tools and the more you should leverage AI to keep up with the response, because Google wants to see that you're responding consistently.
How about you, Amanda? Any takeaways, any lessons that you've learned through the years that maybe we can share with our audience?
You know, it's very simplistic, but I think it's not said enough. Never underestimate the power that a review can have. And that one review from one customer who had an outstanding experience might be the game changer on if someone chooses your business or not. And so it's an easy thing to overlook, or, you know, it's for some people, they feel really uncomfortable saying, if you had a great experience, would you mind telling us about that and leaving a review? But it's so crucial to wrapping up a service well and allowing others to see then why they should choose to go with someone like you. And I, you know, totally shameless plug, this is why we partner with Uberall. Our customers could ask their clients to leave reviews for them, but to tell them how to go do that on so many different platforms feels very tedious. But for instance, we use very heavily the website plugin to just say, here, go to this page on our website and you can leave a review on any of these platforms. Makes it so easy. So I can't stress enough, never underestimate the power that asking for that review and actually getting that review can have on your business.
That's great. And responding to it later.
Yes, and responding to it later.
All right. Well, thank you so much, both of you. It had a great time. I think reputation management, I feel like, is not brought to attention enough. I feel like maybe people think it's just responding to reviews, but I really think there's a lot more to it. So I appreciate you guys sharing knowledge, sharing your learnings. So Cris, where can our listeners connect and learn more about the Uberall, but also the review assistant?
Best channel to learn about Uberall or to connect with me is LinkedIn. We are constantly posting on Uberall LinkedIn channel the news, the value of our product and our features, so stay tuned. And if any listener wants to connect with me, I would love to hear about any experiences with Uberall in general, review management. Yeah, just find me, Cris Thome on LinkedIn.
Great. Now, how about you, Amanda? How can people learn more about Virtual Vision's offerings, connect with you, or if they want to reach out?
Yeah, absolutely. You know, first place that just to give you some base level information about who we are is just, you know, head to our website. That'll tell you a lot about what we stand for as a company and what we offer. It's virtualvision.com. And then we have conversations like this on a regular basis with our industry as well. And you can find all of that shared on any of our socials. Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube are kind of the top three that we push pretty heavily. But other than that, you know, you can find my contact information on our website or give us a call or message through any of those platforms. And we love partnering with anyone in that service industry to be able to just help you have a solid online presence.
With that, thank you so much for listening. If you like this episode of the Local Marketing Beat, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel or to the podcast if you're listening on the go. And like I said earlier, we are on Spotify, so you can take this as you're driving, if you're commuting, which I kind of forgot what that's like nowadays, but you know, I know some people are. So lastly, please share it with your colleagues if you found value on this, and if you want to learn more about what we talked about today and Uberall's products, you can head over to Uberall.com. With that, I will see you on the next episode. Bye-bye.